We say we want more money. We dream about it. We plan around it. Some of us even pray for it. We take jobs we hate just to get it. Work long hours, skip vacations, miss out on time with our kids, say yes to things we should have said no to, all because of it. We tell ourselves it's just for a season. I just need to grind for a little while, just until I get ahead. But somehow that little while turns into years. And before we know it, life has passed us by. We wear the stress on our faces, in our shoulders, in our marriages, in our sleep-deprived eyes. We sacrifice rest, joy, peace, presence, all for this one thing, money. And if we're being honest, a lot of us are exhausted from the chase. But what if I told you that the money we've been taught to chase all our lives, the thing we measure ourselves by, strive for, argue over, stress about, what if I told you that that wasn't the point at all? And don't get me wrong, money matters. It's how we eat, how we pay the bills. It's necessary. Yeah. But here's the truth most people never stop to admit. Money has never really been the goal, not deep down, not in your soul. What you're really after, it's something else. Because if it was just about the money, you wouldn't still feel that nagging emptiness, even after the promotion, the raise, the bonus, the tax refund, the side hustle. You wouldn't still feel anxious, you wouldn't still be afraid, you wouldn't still feel stuck. You wouldn't always feel like you never have enough. See, money was never the destination, it was just supposed to be the vehicle. But somewhere along the way, we started worshipping the car and forgot where we were supposed to be going. So yeah, we say we want more money, we think that's the thing that'll solve everything. But what we're really craving isn't money itself, it's not the number in the account. It's what we think money will give us. And that's where the truth starts to crack open. Because once you realize money isn't the goal, you start asking the real question. If money isn't the goal, then what is? If you're interested in finding the answer, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Flourish in Wealth, where financial freedom begins. First off, let's address the lie that we've been sold. This idea that once you make a certain amount of money, everything in life just magically gets better. That once you finally make enough of it, everything in life will just click. Like the skies will open, your stress will vanish, your relationships will heal, your mind will calm down, and you'll suddenly feel whole. But that's not how it works. And deep down, you already know that, because how many times have you said something like, if I could just make 6 figures, I'd be set. Or, once I hit 1 million, that's it. That's when I'll finally relax. And then what happens? You get that raise, you hit the number, you land the deal. And for like 5 minutes it feels good. You might celebrate, take a trip, buy something nice, post about it. But then real quick, something weird kicks in. Now you're thinking, what's next? How do I keep it? What if it's not enough? Okay, but now I need to make multiple 6 figures or hit 10 million. See how fast the goalpost moves? That's the trap nobody tells you about. You chase money thinking it'll free you, only to find out it can become a whole new prison. Because if it was, billionaires would be the happiest people on earth. But look around. Some of the richest people in the world are miserable, addicted, lonely, burnt out, depressed. Money solves money problems. That's it. It won't fix your marriage. It won't fix your anxiety. It won't heal your trauma. It won't give you purpose. Why? Because money is a tool, not a destination. Nobody buys a hammer and says, finally, I've made it. You buy a hammer to build something. Same thing with money. It's supposed to help you build a life, not be the life. But if you're not careful, you'll end up living your whole life trying to hold on to the hammer, instead of actually building what matters. So before you burn yourself out chasing numbers, you got to stop and ask, what am I really chasing? Because if you don't figure that out, no amount will ever feel like enough. What we really want is number one, peace of mind. You don't want more money just to have more numbers in your bank account. You want to feel safe. You want to sleep at night without worrying about bills or debt collectors or that next unexpected emergency. You want peace in your relationships, not arguments about money. You want peace in your body, not working yourself to exhaustion trying to chase every dollar. And peace doesn't come from a number, it comes from knowing you're okay, that your needs are covered, that your life is under your control, not owned by your job, your boss, or your bills. This is what most people are actually chasing, even if they don't say it out loud, is peace. Not cars, not designer clothes, not a big house in some gated community, just peace. And I'm not talking about a vacation kind of peace, I'm talking about that everyday peace. It's that feeling of being okay, like really okay. Inside, not just on the surface. Most of us aren't chasing luxury. We're just trying to get to a place where life doesn't feel so heavy all the time. We want space to breathe, to rest, to stop grinding like the world's about to end. And the sad part is, a lot of people tie their sense of peace to money. They say, if I could just make more, I'd finally be able to relax. But here's what nobody tells you. If you don't have peace with a little, you're not going to magically have peace with more. Because peace isn't about how much you have. It's about how anchored you are no matter what you have. Some of the calmest, most content people you'll ever meet don't have millions, but they figured out how to live with margin. They figured out how to not let stress run their lives. They figured out how to say no without fear, and yes without pressure. Peace is quiet. It's not flashy. You won't see it trending, but when you have it, everything changes. You stop running, you stop competing, you stop comparing, you stop chasing stuff just to feel valuable. Because now you're not driven by fear. You're moving from a place of confidence. You're not surviving. You're actually living. That's what most people are really after. But if you think money alone is going to give you that, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. Peace comes from clarity, boundaries, living with purpose. Money can support that, but it can't replace it. And if all your energy is going into chasing a paycheck, but your soul is still anxious, still overworked, still overwhelmed, then you're not chasing peace. You're chasing noise. If you're vibing with what I'm saying, please head to the comments section below and type peace over money. I'll be looking out for your comments. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to smash that like button. It helps with the algorithm, and it really supports the channel so I can keep bringing you more awesome content like this. All right, let's jump back into it. My next point is this: what you're really chasing is options. You want to be able to choose. That's wealth. You want to choose where to live, what kind of work to do, whether to stay in that toxic job or walk away and not flinch. You want to choose to spend more time with your kids, to travel, to take a break, to pursue that passion project. See, money by itself isn't the goal, but it can give you something more powerful than a number in your bank account. It gives you options. You know what real wealth looks like? It's not a Lamborghini or a Rolex. It's being able to say, nah, I'm not doing that, and not worrying about how you'll eat next week. Money is about the freedom to choose. When you've got money, you've got options, options that let you live on your own terms, without settling for less than what you deserve. Think about it. When you don't have money, you're forced to settle. You're choosing the cheapest meals because it's all you can afford. You're grabbing the low-quality clothes because that's what's in your budget. You're always on the lookout for the best deal, just to make ends meet. But when you have money, you don't have to settle. You get to go for the best. You can choose the meal that satisfies your taste, not your wallet. You're picking the clothes that fit your style, not just your budget. You're not bound by cheap or good enough. You're choosing what's truly best for you. Money opens up a world where you don't have to compromise. You're not stuck picking things just because they're affordable or convenient. You're living with the confidence that you can go for quality, comfort, and the things that really make you feel good, without second-guessing yourself. Having money doesn't mean you need to live extravagantly, but it means you don't have to make compromises based on what you can afford. You're no longer limited by your finances. You're choosing to live a life where your options reflect your true desires and not your limitations. That's what wealth is really about. The freedom to choose, to live without compromise, and to go after the best because you can. But when you build a life with options, you don't have to settle. You don't have to tolerate nonsense. You don't have to sell your soul for a paycheck. That's the real goal, not more money, just more say in your own life. Options give you dignity. They give you power. Money just gives you the keys to access them, but the money itself is not the end. The next point I want to make is that one of the best feelings money can buy is the ability to say no without fear. No to a low-paying job that drains your energy. No to clients who don't respect your value. No to the grind that's eating your life. It sounds simple, right? But for a lot of people, saying no is actually one of the hardest things to do. Why? Because they are afraid of losing money in the process. Afraid of feeling like they're not enough or not doing enough. Afraid of letting others down because they've been trained to say yes to everything and everyone. Real wealth means that you get to say yes to the things that actually bring you joy and align with who you want to be. That's what financial freedom is. It's not about yachts or Gucci belts. It's about being able to walk away. My next point is something we all crave, even if we don't say it out loud. We want ownership of our time. Think about it. Time is the only thing you can't earn back. You can lose all your money and still make it again. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. We work 40, 50, sometimes 60 hours a week, and just to get 2 days off, then we call that a work-life balance. Guys, that's not balance, that's survival. Guys, time is the real flex. Time is the real currency, because you can lose money and make it back. But once time is gone, it's gone. The crazy part is this. Most people don't work for money. They work for survival. And what they're actually doing is trading their time just to stay afloat. Think about it. How many people wake up before the sun, rush through traffic, work all day, come home exhausted, crash on the couch, and then repeat every day for years? And for what? Just enough to cover bills and maybe take a week off once a year if they can afford it. That's not freedom. That's a cycle. That's surviving. But the real dream, it's being able to own your time, to wake up and not feel rushed, to take a walk in the middle of the day without feeling guilty, to be present with your kids, not just physically but mentally. Time ownership is choosing how your day goes, not having it dictated by someone else's calendar. And listen, I get it. We all have responsibilities. But if all your time is going toward making someone else rich, building someone else's dream while your own life is slipping by, that's not success, that's sacrifice. And sometimes unnecessary sacrifice. You don't need millions to own your time. You just need to design your life differently. Because it's possible to have a simple life and still have freedom. It's possible to make enough, live below your means, and buy back your hours. You don't have to wait till retirement to enjoy your life. But most people never even think about it like this. They think, I just need to make more. But more money without more time isn't success. It's just a golden hamster wheel. Next, let's talk about providing for your family without stress. This one hits hard because if you've ever been in a place where you can't afford something your child needs, or you're late on rent, or there's more month than money, you know that kind of pressure is unbearable. We've been told that providing for your family means grinding non-stop, barely sleeping, sacrificing your happiness and running on fumes. It's about hustling hard, pushing yourself beyond your limits, right? But here's the reality. Providing for your family should not come at the expense of your peace, your health, or your joy. Let's be honest. How many of us have felt like we're always chasing the next paycheck, running around like crazy, stressed about bills and just trying to make sure everyone is taken care of? And then there's the guilt. The guilt when you can't be there for the small moments. The guilt when you're stuck at work while your kids are growing up. The guilt when you're always busy, but never actually present. Guys, that's not what it should look like. That's not what real provision is. True provision is about quality, not just quantity. It's about creating a life where your family feels safe, loved, and cared for, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally as well. It's about having enough, and then some, so you can have peace around money. It's about not having to worry about the next paycheck, because you've built a foundation that lets you breathe easy. Most people think that providing means working 80 hours a week, stacking up a ton of money and getting everything your family wants. But the problem is, that's not sustainable. That's stress. That's burnout. And honestly, it's not really living. It's surviving. What if you could provide without feeling like you're on the edge of a meltdown? What if you could give your family everything they need and still have energy to actually enjoy them? Now, don't get me wrong, money plays a part in this. But the goal isn't to get rich just for the sake of having more stuff. The goal is to create stability and security for your family so you're not constantly fighting to keep your head above water. True provision isn't about being a workaholic. It's about being strategic, being smart with your money, and being intentional with your time. It's about having the freedom to say yes to your kids' recitals, family vacations, or even a spontaneous outing without worrying about the bank account. We don't want to be rich just to show off. We want to provide, to take care of our people, to say yes to that school trip or that doctor's appointment or that vacation your spouse has been dreaming about. Provision without panic. That's the goal. Moving on, one of the best feelings in the world is to be able to help someone else, to give freely, but many of us can't because we're just trying to survive ourselves. We all know the feeling. You want to give back. You want to help others. You want to be that person who makes a difference. But how many times have you held back from giving because you were afraid you couldn't afford it? Maybe you saw a charity asking for donations and thought, I'd love to help, but I've got bills to pay. I've got my own family to take care of. Or maybe it was a friend in need and you wanted to lend a hand, but you're already stretched so thin you don't even have enough for yourself. Imagine the freedom of being able to help others whenever you want, without worrying about the impact it's going to have on your own life. That's the kind of financial freedom that's really worth striving for. Giving with no strings attached. Giving out of abundance, not out of sacrifice. And when you can do that, when you can give generously without going broke, it's like a whole new level of peace. You can sleep easy at night knowing you're helping, but also that you're taking care of your own financial well-being. Imagine being in a place where you can give generously and not worry about how it affects your bills. You can support your church, bless a friend, sponsor a child without it hurting you. That's true generosity. That's a deeper goal than just stacking up wealth for yourself. At the end of the day, guys, I'm not telling you to stop making money. I'm not saying that money doesn't matter. It absolutely does. We all need it to live, to provide, and to enjoy the things that truly matter in life. What I'm saying is, stop making it the main thing. Let money serve you, not enslave you. Let it be a tool to build your best life, not a god that controls your every move. Chase the real goal: peace, purpose, options, ownership, generosity. Because once you get those in place, the money follows. If you got value from this, do me a favor, like this video, drop a comment below and tell me what the real goal looks like for you. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to check out my other video here for more money tips. You won't want to miss it.